Hi, I'm Drew, a drag queen living in LA with my husband Curtis, my dog JB, and a lot of stuff. I'm so
So
blessed.
much stuff. My name is Grant. I'm a former pastor. I live in Florida with my wife, 4 children, and not as much stuff. It's hard out here.
Not as much, because that goes to the
And
kids. Goes to the
alligators.
kids. This week, we do a lot of political talk. Now, listen, it's been a political week. I understand if you are not ready to joke, to laugh about the current president. If that is the case, maybe skip this episode. We are heavy on the laughter about their bodies.
It's not the most serious political talk. That's a good point.
No,
It's
but it's
not.
fun.
It is a little fun.
Protect your peace.
Protect it at all costs. Also, Drew, I get sent a lot of TikToks, tickety talks, and Instagrams.
Wow.
And they
Whoa.
lead us to have some interesting conversations. Not political. Well, sometimes it dips into it.
And if you're just listening to this and not
Evangelicals.
watching it, don't worry. We describe some of what we're watching.
We didn't think about it more than once. All right, everybody, enjoy the episode.
Bye. Hi, I'm Drew. And I'm Yang.
And I'm Grant, and as far as you know, I'm not. How are you,
Stay
brother?
away. I'm so good. Thank you so much for asking. It's been quite a week over here in Los Angeles, California.
Is
Like,
everything-
the fires have died down, at least in my area. There were brand new ones this week, which is not great. Wasn't great, but not near us. And so as long as it's not me, let them burn, is what I've always said. And no, it really could be.
You've really swung to the right politically. I mean, that was effortless.
Swung
the
or
way you
maintained my position.
publicly swung. I'll say that.
Oh, sure.
Privately,
sure.
of course, maintain.
Yeah.
Maintain. Well, you were a
Just
Dole
tired
guy.
of these
You love Bob
games.
Dole. You're a
I
big
like
Bob
that
Dole
he.
guy.
I love that he held onto a pen. You know that I always have a pen nearby just in case I need to dole.
Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole. True. Speaking of the GOP that you love so much,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with our father this week.
Oh, gone. Okay.
It went well.
Well, he's probably having a great week, right?
Oh, fucking the best. The
Yeah,
absolute
good for
best. He
him.
feels so
Good for him.
safe.
Yeah.
He's always been in danger from
Yeah.
the left. We're having a conversation, and honestly, Drew, I check in with Dad every now and then.
Sure.
Because he's old and gonna die, and so I check in with Dad, and the way I do it is I find some factoid from history or something, and I give him that. I give him
And
an
let him
update on the wife and the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
he loves that. And so I called him. I gave him the factoid. He immediately shifted into talking about all of the business that Donald Trump is bringing back into our country.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, same
I
here.
for one
I was
am
in
relieved.
tears.
I
was in
for
tears.
one am relieved. Yeah.
Then I just listened. I just went, yeah. And I said, anyway, Dad, would you like to know about your grandchildren or your daughter-in-law? And so
He said, no, thank you.
he said no thank you, but then he's like 80 something. He forgot he said no thank you. And so I just kept going. I barreled through,
Yeah.
gave him the update on everybody. As I'm talking about the kids, this is what's going on with Max.
Oh,
this
God,
is what's going on,
what,
whatever.
What?
As I'm doing that, he goes, the Trump family's really tall.
Wait. Wait. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
And I said, oh, okay. Anyway, so the kids are gonna, and he goes, but Donald Trump's tall. And I said, yeah, Dad. Yeah, he is, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. And I shit you not, Drew. This is what he says.
Okay.
He says, Donald Trump is, and he gives me the height. And then he says, well, but Melania is this. Do you know how tall Barron is? But don't forget about Don Jr. And
Wait,
then
like off the top of the dome? Like those are
off
just
the
facts he
fucking top
has?
of the dome.
At 81? That's
Top
what
of
he
the dome,
remembers?
dude. Top of the dome.
Wow. I have to be honest. I hope anyone loves me the way our father loves Donald Trump. Like,
Honestly,
that would be amazing.
I wanted to say what I didn't say. What I wanted to say was, how tall is Drew?
He wanted to say... Oh, he
Do you
has
know
no
how tall
idea.
Drew is?
He has no idea.
But can I tell you one of my favorite hateful things he said? Because
Okay.
it just comes out of him.
Yeah, so naturally.
He said he starts naming the son's height, and then he said, "But Ivanka, the pretty daughter."
True. I saw somebody said that... What's the other one? Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Oh,
Tiffany.
first of all, her name being Tiffany is perfect because he named, that, well, he didn't name her, but that Marla, Marple, whatever her name
Ma-
was.
yep.
She's
Miss
like,
Maisel.
what if we name her Tiffany? And he was like, great, that's a stripper I'd fuck. Let's do it. And then she looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid left in the sun.
Oh.
Looks like her eyes got, like, they both got text messages, but they have phones on the other side of the room. And they're both reaching.
I don't. Okay, listen. You sound a lot like Dad right now. Also, I don't know what Tiffany Trump looks like. I'm
It's
sorry
not
to this
good.
man. I could
It's
not pick
not
her out
good.
on the street. I'm sorry
It's
to
not
this man.
good, babe. It's not good. It just makes, I mean, I would say I feel sorry for her, but considering, what she's doing, I don't. That's okay. Can I tell you this? That's my inner struggle as a progressive person,
Okay.
progressive liberal person.
Okay.
And because
Hmm.
I want a Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high is how I want to live. But that is clearly not getting us anywhere at
When they go low,
all.
she stays at home. That's what she does. Michelle
And
Obama.
bitch, I would too.
Bitch.
I would
Bitch, do
too.
it.
Girl, write another book.
Or I'd either do that or I'd do what George W. Bush did, which is he got out there, started misbehaving. That's what he did. He got in there.
Misbehaving.
Daddy told me not to. I did it anyway. Misbehaving.
I
We should sing that duet, Drew. Oh my God, we should
I
sing that
would
duet.
absolutely do that with what's that guy's name? What's the actor's name with the teeth? Who
You
plays
know
Brother
what?
Billy?
I know, and I'm not going to say it
Goggins.
because you're a
Coggins.
fit. Walton
Goggins.
Goggins. How dare you?
Close. I struggle because,
Misbehaving.
of course, I schadenfreude. I'm a human. I love to see other people's pain.
Of
But,
course.
I try my best not to be my true self. I try to lie to myself and say that I care.
It's the best way to live.
On
No consequences.
TikTok and such as, I get such a thrill when I see people making fun of the way she looks. Tiffany. And I know that sucks. It should
It's not
be her
good.
strength of character, which is the ugly
As
part
Martin
of
Luther
her.
King Jr. said.
But with her face, I don't care how strong your character is. Not with that face, you aren't, babe. Not with that face.
Sorry,
Well,
Tiffany.
great. Well,
Listen,
I'm
Drew,
glad that our dad educated you on the height of the
but
Trump children.
but hang on. I didn't say their heights to you. Would you like to know why?
I honestly thought it's just so weird he's not telling me the heights right now because I was on the edge of my seat. I got my pin out. I Bob doled my pin out, and I was writing
You're gonna
down.
write it down.
I was
Write it
waiting.
down.
Okay, go ahead. Don
Something to
Jr.
help you finish later.
is
I want to make a game of this. Are you ready?
what am
How
I?
tall are they? Trump edition.
The only height I wish they were was 6 feet under.
Well, we just got demonetized and
I'm just
potentially we're on the
kidding.
list.
I
All
I
right.
have a really cool basement, and I wanted them down there with me in the basement so we could play games and giggle.
Okay, Drew, who do you think is the shortest? We'll start there and I'll ask you.
Well, the only one that I have some form of reference, but it's from himself, so I think it's wrong. I know that during the first election cycle with little Orange Buddy, our little guy, that's how I've started talking about Trump, by the way. It's so much easier to talk about him when you talk about him as if he were just like this little old boy.
You talking about
Like,
Jeffrey Epstein's best friend?
yeah, our little
Jeffrey
boy.
Epstein's best friend.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
our
yeah. I
little
remember him.
he's our little orange little boy. Cause like we're talking about a
Yeah.
little kid. So little
Running
orange
around with a
boy,
gun, but yeah. That's a little boy just running around with a gun.
loaded, and the safety is sometimes on. Calm down.
Yeah.
I know that he said he was 6'3", and everyone went, "What?" I know he has said he's 6'3".
True.
That's all I know.
I will tell you this. I looked into this for seconds.
Oh my God,
Like
are you okay?
like
I could
absolute
tell.
seconds.
You look tired.
So the source of these heights are suspect, but they do come from Fox 5 New York.
Okay. I get it. Then I would say maybe they landed on a 6'2". I think he's like
Drew,
6 feet tall.
I'm with you. I think that the man has lied. But you know what? Without looking more into it, follow your heart, brother. You were dead on at 6'3". That's what he
Wow.
claimed, and that's what's
What
being
a
reported.
dream.
Donnie J, we've got him at 6'3".
Yeah,
I want
what a
you to guess
gorgeous
of
man.
all of his children, who is the shortest?
The ugly one.
Absolutely. by like a
Yeah.
mile. She's
Yeah.
so tiny compared to everyone else. She's
Well, she
not
had
tiny.
to.
She's tiny compared to everybody
Yeah.
else.
I think once her body realized what the face was doing, it was like, we don't need to grow
Gave up.
anymore. We don't need
We
to
need
do
to.
anymore.
We actually need to stay low. We need
we
to
see
keep
we
out of
stay
people's
out of
eye
people's
line.
eyesight.
Just stay out of
Please.
their eye line.
Please.
And there's
Crouch.
an evolution thing. She'll be
Crouch,
safe.
Tiffany. Yeah, and his
So-
believers don't even believe in evolution. Tiffany Trump's standing right there.
She's standing right there. How do you explain Tiffany Trump?
Oh my God, she's the missing link.
Take a guess at her height.
Well, you said that she's the shortest by far, but she's not short. So I would say 5'7".
Damn, that's so close.
What
Price
is
is
it?
Right rules. No one's beating you unless they get it dead on.
Was it
5'8"?
5'8"?
She's
I almost said 5'8", but I.
But you didn't.
Well, our mom is 5'9". So I was like, well, mom is considered tall for a girl.
So everyone playing at home, what I hope is we have a lot of listeners in urban areas that have public transportation. I hope you're listening to this on headphones, and I hope you're yelling out the height of Donald Trump's family members and yell their names as you yell them,
No.
please.
You should be taking notes in case someone approaches you later today and says, by the way, that
Not in
Tiffany
case
girl.
they will.
What are
She's
her
looking
numbers?
short.
What are
She's
her
looking
numbers?
short.
Yeah.
She live underground.
I'm doing pretty good.
How about this to make it to give you a little bit of an advantage as well? I'm going to give you the names in ascending order. So we've started at the bottom. Next,
Can I guess who's next?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Melania.
I was going to make it easier. Fuck, Drew. Melania Trump. Well done.
Grant, we have spent so many years with these people. I not to sound like
Have
dad.
we?
I'm not keeping track of their height, but I have seen them photographed.
You really
a
are.
lot.
There's a lot of dad coming out of you right now. But go ahead.
Okay, well, mute me if more dad comes out.
I was going to
'cause
say
it's
I can
gonna
I can
be
bleep the
bad.
slurs.
I would say Melania's 5'9".
I'm going to give you one more run at it. You're better
5'8",
than that.
5'10".
No, 5'11". 5'11".
Melania's 5'11".
She's a model.
No wonder she got out of there.
Do you want me to give you the next, or are you just going to...
No, I know who's next.
Who's next?
Ivanka.
It is Ivanka.
She's 6 feet.
What's your guess? This is a little misleading. She's also 5'11".
Yeah, I
she's
almost
also
said 5'11" because he wants to fuck his daughter, so I figured he probably
So
married
bad.
someone. Yeah,
So
which I don't blame
bad.
him. She's hot. I
Also,
mean,
do you think he would be cool with people walking up to him and being like, "Fuck your daughter"? Do you think
Yes.
he's like, "Yeah"?
I
yeah,
don't
you
think
would."
people get an opportunity to walk up to him to say that because he's saying
'Cause
it as they're
he says it
approaching.
first.
Hey, buddy, you want to fuck my daughter? What's up?
Let's
Up
run
next
through the
is Don
boys.
Jr.
Wait, let me see if you're right. Holy
I am.
shit! How do you know this?
Eric's the tallest. I have to be honest,
Drew,
Grant. When
Drew,
you
I'm
said
upset for you that you know this so well. I was like, let me give it to you a little bit easier here. Let me get it in ascending order, and you're like, I don't need it. I already know. Oh
I've
my
seen them
God, Drew.
so much. I've seen them so
oh my
much.
God. Okay.
So up next is Don Jr. and he is
Yeah.
like 6'1" or 6. He's like 6.
he's 6'1".
Yeah.
He
yeah.
is exactly 6'1". Oh my God, Drew.
Up next would be Eric at 6'4", 6'5",
Nailed it. 6'5". He's 6'5".
and Barron
Holy
is on
shit.
track to be like 6'7" or something crazy.
He is 6'7".
Yeah.
Drew, this is the conversation. You are dad. This is a conversation I have with dad. This
Wait,
is exactly
do you
the
think this
conversation
is?
I had with
Do you
him.
think this is how I can build my relationship back with him? If I call my dad and I say, "Hey, Dad, I know all of their heights, and I just knew it. Like I didn't have to look it up." You think he'd be
He
like,
would never be
"Gay people are
prouder.
cool.
Never be proud.
Gay people are cool.
All right, relax.
Gay
Whoa,
people are
whoa, whoa.
cool."
Whoa. Maybe not that part, but oh my God, he'd never be prouder of you. You could be like, Dad, I just started this podcast with Studio 71. I'm killing the game. Everything's going great for me. Curtis is on. He's dressed up as a bear. All of that. And Dad would be like, whatever. You connect on the heights.
Yeah. Listen,
The heights.
similarly to how I feel when people talk about Tiffany's looks online, where I feel conflicted but also thrilled. That is how I feel right now. I shouldn't be proud that I know that. However, I am someone with my finger on the pulse, my eye on the TV, on the TikTok, on the socials, and I take note of political figures. I think it's important that we all take note of how high they are from the ground.
Okay.
I've always said that. How high are they from the ground?
I have a theory that it's not political figures. It's your conservativeness. It's the GOP-ness in you. The
GOP
GOP-ness,
miss.
if you will. And I think you've been denying it too long. I think it's coming out right now. And
Yeah,
so,
it's
Drew,
coming out.
no.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong by answering this correctly. You answer this correctly, then what you said is true. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
How tall is Kamala Harris? How tall is Kamala Harris?
5'6".
You fucking GOP lunatic. She's
What is it?
5'4". 5'4". When you got the Trump family heights wrong, you were off by an inch at most. You were 2 inches off. You
She lost
GOP
by 2 inches.
hag. Oh my God.
Okay. I raised you
All right,
this.
Tucker Carlson.
I raised you this. I raised
Oh.
you this. I raised you this.
Oh my God.
I think it's easier to tell. No, Grant, listen. As a 6'1" person
I'm going to
myself.
cut all this out. You GOP
As a
piece of
6'1"er
shit.
myself, you're only 6 feet. You sit down, you wouldn't understand. As someone
Mm-hmm.
who is over 6 feet, it is easier for me to tell typically men's heights because men are typically taller. So it's typically easier for me to tell that. When we get to the tiny tinies, they're all 4'11" in my head. Like they're all 4'11". Like my first thought when you said Kamala was 4'11". So I had to like blow it up in my head because you don't understand this. You're only 6 feet tall. But when you're over 6
This
feet, you're trying
is
to connect.
such
You're trying
bullshit.
To connect.
And everyone's seeing you flail right now, and I'm
Grant, I think you're
embarrassed for
jealous. No,
I'm
I think what's happening here.
embarrassed for you.
I think what's happening is you're jealous. I think
How tall
our
is Joe
father.
Biden? Give me one more. How tall is Joe Biden?
Oh, he's 6'1".
He's 6 feet. You piece of shit. You don't know. Don't
I was an
know.
inch off. You said I could be an inch off,
I didn't say that. I said that you were so far off of Kamala Harris.
but I wasn't far
compared
off
to
from
the
Joe
Trump
Biden.
family. You were far off. Also, you know what? He's probably shrunk.
He was.
He's 80-something years old.
No,
He's like 5'11"
I bet he
now.
shrunk
I
to
bet he's
6
5'11".
feet. I bet he was
I bet he's
6'1" in the
5'11" now.
70s. Check on
No,
him in
he
the
wasn't.
Vietnam War. That bitch was
No, he
6'1",
wasn't.
carrying a gun, shooting people.
No, he wasn't.
Sorry
He
for
dodged
eating
the
a grape
draft.
on the
No,
podcast.
wait, that's
I'm
the current president.
I'm really hungry.
So, Drew, this was a great game, and I wish there was a way we could do these more often. I hope that Trump has more family that comes to light that we can worship and learn about.
Oh, I would love to guess their height. I'm going to guess next week. Can I guess the heights of his cabinet members?
But they'll probably change between now and then, but we can try.
Oh, I know. But so is my ability to learn. It's always growing and changing.
It's growing. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
That was actually kind of fun. I've never felt more
I am-
confident in anything in my life.
My mind is blown at
I need
how
to call
good
my
you
dad.
were
I
at
have to
that
say,
family thing.
all I've thought about for the last few years is his death. And every time a phone rings, I think this is the one.
An angel gets his wings.
No, he's still alive, and he will not be getting wings when he dies. Okay, he will just get turned off. I don't think there's an afterlife.
Yeah, nothing
anyway,
happens. So it'd be
nothing
just
happens, but
whatever.
he'll just stop living. But now that I know we have something in common, and it's like a natural talent of ours, maybe I should give him a call.
He'd probably be the only person in your life it would be safe for you to talk about your love for the Trump family that clearly you've been hiding from the
I didn't
rest
say
of
that I
us.
love them. I love their heights. I think their heights are pretty incredible. They're a tall family. I don't know if you
It'd
heard.
be hard.
They're
It'd be hard
is
to
6'7".
I did hear, and you knew it deep in your heart. He looks like SpongeBob on that episode where he wears that tuxedo and goes to prom. Is it prom? With Pearl.
You say
the whale.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. For Christmas, my sister-in-law got me SpongeBob nails. Isn't that funny?
Oh.
Anyway.
SpongeBob is always near, and he's always in our hearts, and he's always ready to protect us.
I've never seen a Minion movie, but I love the Minions. What's that about?
Because you haven't seen a Minion movie. That's what that's about. They're great.
We
for
also have the
commercials.
minion that overlooks the valley. Did I send you
Yeah.
that picture when the fire started and in the Hollywood Hills? And it's the
Yeah,
minion overlooking the valley. It's this giant minion at Universal who like overlooks the valley. And there's just this black cloud and red behind it. It looks so evil.
I hope that there's just a shit ton of Southern Baptist churches that saw that picture, and now for the rest of time, that
Okay.
will be a sign
Sorry.
of the times.
I have a quick bar redact for a second, but
Okay.
when I did the Twink pageant a few weeks ago. I wrote all the questions, and one of the questions was, are Minions Twinks? Why or why not? Explain your answer.
Yeah.
And I was telling Alexis that, and I said, are they Twinks? And she goes, well, it depends on how many eyes they have. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, they have names, they have eyes. It just depends on how many eyes they have. And I was like, okay. She couldn't explain herself, but she said it so authoritatively. And you know when
Yeah.
like a really dumb person says something so confidently that you're like, I know it shouldn't be true, but I can't shake that confidence. It is
Well,
true.
you were just, yeah, all the stuff you said about Tiffany was pretty,
I'm
I
not
didn't know what to do
saying
with
that
that.
Alexis is dumb, by the way. Just the things she says. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I clocked it.
Clock it, daddy.
I guess that's my fault. It's so great that you love the Trump family so much, and we got to open
I
talking
don't love
about
them. I love their height. Would
So,
love to line them up,
and kiss them.
measure them more.
Oh, you would like more. You want more precise measurements.
I don't
That's
like
what you
that we
want.
stop at the inch. I need to know
Right.
the what's less than an inch? Centimeter? No.
No one tell him. No one help him. Centimeter is less than an inch. Yes.
No, I know, but like isn't centimeter metric. An inch
Yes.
is, so what's below an inch?
Half an inch, quarter of an inch. We don't have anything below it. We say quarter of an inch, half an
Our
inch, eighth of
system
an inch.
sucks. Our system is so stupid.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? It is, but also it's our system. It's
Ah,
America's
shit. You're right.
system.
It's 6
Okay?
7. It's 6 7.
It's 6'7".
6 7 sounds so fucking cool. If we had to say that in fucking millimeters or whatever, we'd be like, he's 204.
He's like 8 stones or whatever.
my
I don't
ass.
know. I don't know. I
don't care how many stones.
Suck it.
I don't even see stones on a daily basis anymore.
So, Drew, I get a lot of videos, TikToks, you might call them, that Trump saved. Trump saved TikTok for us all.
Thank you.
So,
You 6'3" in my book, buddy.
I get a lot of funnies. I get a lot of funny TikToks, but I also get a lot of our listeners, our twin individuals, as I call them. I get a lot of them sending us things that I think would be interesting for us to talk about and respond to. And so that's kind of what I want to do today. I downloaded them,
Ooh.
and I've got them ready to go.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I would like to show you some of these and get your response. And I think it's appropriate that we
boy.
started talking about old Trump because we're going to go into the evangelical world, and 80% of white evangelicals voted for the man.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll make sense
Okay,
of that
Grant,
today.
can I say this? I know this is not new. I know I'm not like saying anything that you probably haven't heard 1,000 times, but I
I'm
struggle
handsome.
so much when I was a child. I was
You
like, I
thought like a
struggle so
child?
much when I was a child. When I was a child, obviously we were terrified of the rapture. So it was always
course.
something I was kind of like on the lookout for. And a part
course.
of that lookout thing, and again, just so everyone knows, at 8 years old, I thought the world was going to end at any moment while I was awake. Just so everyone knows.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it
so
could
I was
have.
constantly on the lookout. One of the main things I was like looking at, besides the height of politicians, was also like the Antichrist. Who in public life could be the Antichrist? And
Yeah.
now I know that the Antichrist is not a real thing, but
Well, it
if I were 8 again living in this world, no one fits the bill so perfectly like Donald
Then
Trump.
Angela Lansbury, Donald Trump.
Well, she's already gone. She's resting.
She's coming back.
Anyway,
the Antichrist comes back.
he's the perfect Antichrist. Isn't that crazy? I kind of wish
No.
it were real now.
There was a real Antichrist. When those letters had been written to the early church, it was Nero. He was literally killing all of them and destroying the church. And
I
so
thought Nero was
that's what they meant.
was made up. I thought Nero was like a god. He was a king. He was a Caesar.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a king. He's
He's often a clue, or he's often an answer. New York Times crossword puzzles. I write Nero a lot.
Nero? Mm-hmm. You talking about the failing New York Times? All right. On that point, it's really going to lead into this video really well. Can you see him?
Oh no, is he a Christian?
Great question.
He's so
actually,
hot. That
I don't
man
know
is
if he.
hot.
I don't think he is.
Good.
I don't know. If he
I
is,
bet
then
he's-
he's like a very progressive Christian.
He's also 6'1".
He's obviously not. Look at his arms and his torso. That's a short man.
Okay. Let's watch the video, and I think I can be. Your father and I will be the judge of that.
That's a short man. The only heights you guys care about are GOP people. He's not. So you're not. You're had any
And
clue. You'll have no
wieners.
clue. You have no clue.
When you stick
So
it straight
Drew,
up, is it how many inches? Inches? We talking centimeters here. This is international cock. I'm working on that verse.
is that Sandy Patty? That's a Sandy Patty hit.
She wants to make a comeback into EDM gay raves. She just feels like that's where her audience ended up.
She really could. Multiple people sent me this video. I just want to show you part of it. Whenever I mention on the show about a pastor being a huge piece of shit,
Yeah.
I'm referring to Mark Driscoll.
I know.
And so this is actually, he pulled a clip of Mark Driscoll talking, and it's mind-boggling.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second. I'm going to pause it after he shows the Mark Driscoll clip, and then you and I can talk about it a little bit more. Not that his commentary is not wonderful. It is. But I think you and I will probably end up saying something very similar. So,
Okay.
Are you ready?
I would love for you to set up the clip one more time. I just don't feel like you've explained what could possibly happen.
So this guy right here, who's clearly under 6 feet tall, and
that
you
man
can see
looks
that
like he
from his
could be
torso.
6'1". You can't see that from this angle. Just play the video.
Look at his arms. Look at the length of his arms.
Play the video, and I'll
Compared to his
tell
torso.
you.
Short man. You're not going to see any
How
more
tall
of
is
him.
Tiffany Trump, Grant? You don't even remember.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Show me this shit.
Why does it seem like so many American Christians don't even like Jesus? Check this out.
Part of the problem with work in Catholicism, especially for men, the priest is committed to poverty and chastity. Just so you know, that's my unbucket list. I don't want to die a broke virgin at the
Jesus?
church. In fact, I promise you that's not how I'm going out. Within that, it doesn't bring the healthiest
Listen to
men,
this.
and it doesn't encourage
Listen.
and inspire men. Because if the leader is, well, he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't own anything, he's not building anything, and he's not responsible for anyone, it's really hard to admire that guy.
That was Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
He
You got
described
it.
Jesus.
He's not a man worth admiring or following. You just described.
Two-
He just described Jesus.
2 notes. That man is 5'10", based on just the small moment of torso and arms I got. That was
Wait, which one? Which one? The man that in the video?
The man in the video, not Mark Driscoll.
Oh,
Mark
okay.
Driscoll, the second thing I was going to say is Mark Driscoll looks like he has high cholesterol, and I'm concerned.
I think he does have high cholesterol. I also think that there's something about hatred that keeps people going. Like good people die young.
And our dad is still alive. Yes, I completely agree.
I think there's something about they're just so angry that like they're about to die and they're like, fuck you, heart. And the heart's like, oh shit, let's
Do you
keep
think,
going.
too-
There's more to hate.
Okay, that's an interesting point, and that brings up another point.
Thanks. Okay.
Number one, I think Mark Driscoll is like 6 feet, 6'1".
6'1".
Secondly,
He loves Trump.
obviously, do you think that Trump's second term, and there's no rioting or anything because they're the ones who riot. So like everyone's a little calmer. They're like, okay, it's happening. Everything's happening. Do you think
Okay.
that'll calm them? It'll lull them into death? Now that our father, because remember he said his goal was to live 4 more years, like
Yeah.
for Trump.
Yeah.
So like,
That's literally
you
what my dad said. You're right. Yeah.
do you think like this term may actually allow him to finally let go and be dead forever? Or am I wishful thinking?
I think you could be onto something. I think that he's got to see that the hate's going to continue without him.
Yeah.
You know?
He's not on TikTok, so he doesn't know that that's possible yet.
Once he sees us taking American citizens who are no longer protected by the 14th Amendment,
Yes.
being ripped away from their families, and he
Yeah.
sees the hatred in the eyes of the people ripping them away, if he can see that on Fox News and watch Jesse Waters just come all over himself while he watches that, like our dad will be like, I'm done. It's
It's a
safe.
peaceful death. It's a peaceful
And
death.
he'll lean back and he'll go, my feet are getting warm. I knew it would happen. I knew it happened this way. And he'll just slide on down.
And he just goes,
Now he goes out like Winnie. Oh, fuck. And that's how we find him.
I just told that story to Naomi Smalls the other day. Oh, you don't know who that is?
No, I told a story to Naomi Watts recently. She was
Oh,
like,
really?
how did you find out where I live? And I was like, we have fun.
Her accent has really dwindled since she's been in the States so long.
We got her.
Bummer.
Got another one.
You know, interesting. Now, has anyone contacted him and let him know that he just described Jesus, or no? They're just like, man, it's fine.
I'm sure that many people have, and I'm sure he has a great response. I'm sure he's got some incredible non sequitur. He's got some red herring that he's going to throw in there and be like, but So, yeah, he obviously described Jesus, and that clip unlocked something for me. And I don't know if it'll make anyone else feel better, but it really, I know this, it's going to sound stupid because it's going to sound so obvious, but it helped me a lot with the evangelicals in my life. And what I mean is, when I look at evangelicals and they support someone like Trump and they have no problem with the horrific shit that's happening in the world around them, there's something in me that I get upset because I'm like, you fucking know better. I've read the book. Like, I know who the Jesus guy is. Like, I know what he said. I know what he did. The fuck? Like, it's just such an obvious hypocrisy, and it bothers me because I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of shit in the church, but that Jesus guy is pretty compelling, and he's supposedly your number one, and nothing that you're talking about would he be talking about. He wouldn't do any of the shit you're doing.
Well,
And it like
cool.
upsets me. It upsets me. And then I thought it was that video that made me go, oh, evangelicalism is not Christianity. Like, and there's a lot of forms of Christianity that's not Christianity. But I was like, oh shit, they're not Christians. Or if you want to say that like no one is, then they're not following Jesus. They're
Right,
something
they're a club.
else. They're completely something else. And I actually, like, I know that world for certain, but it has nothing to do with I thought it had to do with, which is true. I mean, like, obviously I had that experience as well, where if you had asked me before the church had fired me and shunned us publicly and shamed us publicly, if you had said, hey, Grant, if you had done X, Y, Z, and you had plugged in the things they accused me of, and you said, how do you think the church is going to respond? I'd be like, oh, God, they're going to help us. They're going to take care of us. They would get us help, and they would, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't abandon us. And
I'm so sorry I have to interrupt. I don't think it's fair that you talk about your past church so negatively. Like, whenever you bring it up, all you talk about is how the church abandoned you and blah, 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 blah. But Grant, what were you wearing? Grant,
it's a solid point.
what were you wearing? Do you have any of your old church's t-shirts around?
Not anymore.
That t-shirt, it is my favorite makeup t-shirt. Like,
Not
if
anymore.
I'm looking to put
Threw 'em all
on
away.
one of my ripped up, well, it's all ripped up, but if I'm looking for one of my ripped up t-shirts, it's your old church one. I gotta tell you, I know that drag queens aren't like their favorite thing. They could have a market for makeup shirts. The material's
so
so
nice.
cheap, it rips really smoothly, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Like relationships there. The same thing. Cheap, rips easily.
What were you wearing?
But I believed it was something different than it was. In fact, Drew, Book of Mormon, thank you, I got it. When we were leaving after being fired and after being told we weren't Christians and after being told we were wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, I've heard
and-
this story. God.
And that we're going to hell and all that.
Oh, I missed that.
After all of that, we're in the car and Angela's crying. I don't know why. Emotional. Women, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Probably your period.
I was like, hey, I can't hear the game. Hey, lady, I can't hear the game.
why don't you go fix me some pizza rolls and
Why don't
bleed
you
and
go-
cry in the kitchen?
Yeah, well, not on the pizza rolls. I turned to her, and this is truly what I said. Oh, don't worry about it. They're gonna help us. Like, why would they not? I apologize. I owned everything, even the shit that wasn't true. They hugged me. They told me they loved me after they told me what a piece of shit I was. They're gonna help us. Why would they hurt us? And I was so
buddy.
wrong about what it was. And so now I kind of had the same realization watching this clip that I was like, oh shit, this is something else. Evangelicalism is not Christianity. They're not Christians. That's something completely different. I don't even know if I've ever met one. And by the way, I'm putting myself in that category. The values that I had were matched evangelicalism more than they matched the person of Jesus. And so it's like, oh, I was in something else. They were in something else.
Well,
you
if
know?
the majority of people using that term are a certain way, doesn't that make Christianity by default that?
It could be, yes. That's what I'm saying. If you even accept that Christianity's a thing, because so either, if you want to say it that way, then they don't follow Jesus. Like, they're not sticking to that Jesus guy. They're doing their own thing.
Well,
and Jesus
white
is a character
American
in their
Jesus,
play.
they love him.
White American Jesus is pretty great. Orange American Jesus, even better. I actually talked to a guy that just came out of, he was a Jehovah's Witness. I talked to him this past week. And he and his wife recently
Tough.
left. Do you know what they call it when they shun you in the Jehovah's Witness world?
Yes.
It's called what?
Oh, you didn't ask me that. You just asked if I knew.
Can you tell me what it is?
question and answer over, but I can guess that the guy you talked to was 5'10".
Holy shit. Anyway, I was talking to Jehovah's Witness, and
Why?
that reached out. A lot of people reach out and want
Oh,
to talk about their
sorry.
stories.
No, I know that people reached out. Sorry, that was so aggressive. Why?
Why?
I thought you were like going around
Because they're
witnessing to
human?
people.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I thought it was one of those situations where you said you had met
Ooh.
someone while you were dropping off cookies, and I thought someone approached you and said, "Hi, I love your cookies. I was a Jehovah's Witness. Do you have a moment?"
I like your other idea that I'm going around witnessing, because I used to go around evangelize. I should de-evangelize now. I should go around. I should do the opposite and
Christians in Florida carry
correct the
guns.
balance.
So I
You
would
know
just
what?
let that
Never
go.
mind. I'm gonna let them go.
You know what?
I'm just gonna let them
to
be.
quote our mom's favorite book by Mel Robbins, "Let them."
Just let them.
Grant, wait. Holy fuck. I read Let Them. I call my mom. We talk about that. Boom. She loves me again. Then I call dad. I say, "Hey, dad, I know Tiffany Trump's height. She's ugly." Boom. He loves me again. Wow. Should we do it live?
I think you go one step further with Dad. You're gonna have to also talk about how much you want Ivanka in a very carnal way. That'll really connect.
Can I tell
with
you
him.
this, though? When I'm
Okay.
watching my bi MMF porn, which the only
Who do you like?
OnlyFans... Oh my God, there's this couple. I love them. And the reason I like them so much...
I knew you were gonna
It's-
tell me something genuine.
Oh, okay. I like a zany
go ahead.
couple.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
clowns. And
Okay, yep.
he shoots the nose
Okay.
off his cock
Enough.
into
Go
his...
back to your genuine
into
thing.
her vagina.
Hilarious. Go back to
Do you
your
watch...
genuine.
Have you watched Kunk on Life yet?
Yes, because
I
of
love
you.
I love the line she said. I was watching it today, and she said she was explaining sex, or a woman was explaining sex to her, that a man inserts the penis into the vagina and he shoots cum. She didn't say cum because she's not a scientist.
A medical
but
professional.
so then Kunk rephrases it and it's like, so getting pregnant through sex, it's kind of like a 9/11 for the ovaries. You're just shooting stuff at it. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Every time you impregnated your wife, Grant, you committed a 9/11.
Yeah. That's how I thought about it. That's actually the
Well,
only
that's how
way
you
I
come.
was
It's the
able
only way you can come.
to get it
I
done.
know.
Hey,
And that's something
speaking
that
of
people
doing
don't
that,
understand.
Angela's in the room. Angela, come here. So people
We were
can
talking
see
about
you.
9/11, Ange.
She can't hear you, and that's what makes this even better. Here she is. See, you're on this camera. You're on this one. Hey, everybody. It's Angela.
And your skin looks
Hi.
so good. Tell her skin
He
looks
said your
good.
skin looks really good.
Oh, thanks. What about my lips?
Do you like it? You like Lana lips?
Do you like Lana lips?
I do. I love it. Thanks.
I think
for the
she was more talking
recommendation.
about how full they look.
Oh, yes. They look full.
Please don't touch those.
look great.
Please.
They look
Off the
great.
merchandise. Angela drop in. Where we got off track was I mentioned Jehovah's Witness. And so I talked to Jehovah's Witness and they said this.
Yes.
They were still like deconstructing and pulling apart everything they'd learned and been taught. And he said, but you know, my one problem, the thing that my wife and I keep running into is the stuff Jesus said was pretty great. And I was like, I get that. In fact, I think most of the things that you find universally true and wise that Jesus spoke, you'll find elsewhere. You'll find it in other major religions. You'll find it in other, like, just major schools of thought, maybe because they're universally true. He said, well, it's just hard because I just can't let go of Jesus. And I said, well, your church did. And every church I ever know has. So I don't think it should be a problem for you either. That's evangelical. It's something else. And actually,
Can I
yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you. So I agree. It's something I've heard you say a lot of, like, the teachings of Jesus were pretty cool. It was just, everyone now that's awful. But also, like, did Jesus talk about, like, heaven and hell or no?
So
Because if he's
this is a-
saying, like, I like love your brother, blah, 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 by the way, hell is real, oops, then, like, Jesus
Great.
wasn't great.
well, that's a great debate among theologians. In fact, Dan McClellan talks about it. And
He's the
the
hottest man on
idea-
earth. Dan McClellan is 6'4".
is he? I bet
my
he is.
mind.
He looks tall as shit.
He looks so tall.
well, he's got that Easter Island head on him. He
love
better be
it.
tall. He better be
He,
tall.
the-
He's got a
listen,
big
his
old
haircut
sexy
is not
brain
doing
of his.
him any favors, okay? And the fact that he does a fit check and it's just a T-shirt of a comic book,
Oh no,
it's
Dan
it's
McClellan's-
raining. It's raining.
There is a God.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
Oh my you.
Oh my. Drew, Dan McClellan's very hot, I guess. So
God, he is.
But
really is.
like just to illustrate this point that again, evangelicalism has nothing to do with Jesus. The scriptures say that true religion is to care for orphans and
genes.
widows in their
Our
distress.
ugly genes.
Our ugly genes, and
that you give to poor widows.
that bouncers at bars wear. So true religion cares for orphans and widows in their distress. That's what it says. So a religion that is not doing that primarily, or a religion that is not based on helping orphans and widows in their distress, which is, by the way, that is representative of the most vulnerable people in our society. So if there's an organization that calls itself a religion that is not doing that primarily, they're a false religion, according to the New Testament, according to the Bible. And so
Not the new one. That's so much better than the old one.
I don't know any churches, especially not the big major churches. I don't know that they're doing that. I don't know the ones that do that. And they'll go like, my old church would say that. They would say, oh, no, we gave away X amount of dollars of this year. And I want to say, okay, what percentage of your income is that? What percentage of what you do is you caring for the least of these? You caring for the
It's
most
their tithe.
vulnerable?
It's what they tithe.
That's what they tithe. That's the part that they're like, well, it's 10%, so it's my tithe.
10%.
And it's bullshit. And so I would say the Bible calls them a false religion. If that's what you are, you're a false religion, because that's not what you're not doing what you should be doing. Can I give you point 2? I'm going to preach a little bit.
I feel like you're going
Point 2,
to. Yeah, either way. You're wound
it doesn't
up. Go
matter.
for it.
Look, you got to talk about Trump height, and that's what gets you going, and this gets me going.
6'3".
Jesus said that when you do give to the poor, which they don't do, but when they do, he says, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. In other words, don't fucking talk about it. Do it for them. Do it to help them. That's what
That's
you're doing
a
it for.
terrible analogy. And listen, I'm sorry. I know he's dead, and I feel so bad.
I feel sorry for
But
this
don't
man.
let your
Yeah,
right
yeah.
hand know what your left hand is doing. So he wants to
Yeah.
lobotomize people. You have
Severance. You love severance,
Severance.
and
My
now
bad.
you're
You're right,
like,
you're right,
now
you're
you're
right,
like,
you're right,
oh
you're right,
shit,
you're right.
I hate this.
You're right. You're right.
You
You're
hate
right.
severance? Okay.
You're right. No, it's a
Okay.
good idea. I take it back.
Okay. So Jesus
I'm a
says
Christian.
severance. That's what he says. That's what he's saying. When you
He
do
says, Adam
good for
Scott.
people, severance. And so when people
Right.
are like, hey, did you do good for that person? You go, severance. That's what you say.
Sure.
My old church, Church Redacted, and by the way, every church I've been a part of has done something like this. My old church, at the end of the year, would do an end of year report. They would
you
take
said this a couple weeks ago.
they would take all the good things they did and print it and publish it, and they'd make videos about it.
Gross.
So not only did their left hand know what their right hand was doing, everybody's left hand knew what our right hand was doing. We all knew what the hands were doing. And so again, hey, you fucked up. Like, you're not doing what Jesus said. So evangelical, it's something else. It's completely something else.
Do you think that's why priests molest, because they just misunderstood that verse? Do you think kids getting molested by priests is Jesus' fault?
Hey, thanks everybody
Let's
for
unpack
watching this
that.
week. This has
unpack
been
that.
great. To illustrate the point further, but also to just be fun, and it'll be funny to watch together.
This is going to be so fun.
Do you know what Prestonwood Baptist Church is in Texas?
No, but I love that name.
It's a
Name
giant
a gayer name.
megachurch.
Preston.
Preston's pretty gay. Yeah, it's a
Is
giant
it the one that does the
megachurch.
musicals? The unlicensed musicals?
No, you're talking. That's like up
love
in
them.
Toronto or something. No.
Big fan.
This is just a giant megachurch, and they do, like we used to do the singing Christmas tree. They do something like that around Christmas, and I just want to show it to you. And
Okay.
this is illustrating what they fucking care about, not the orphans and widows in their distress. This is what they care about, because this is what they spend their money on. Jesus said that where your heart is where your treasure is where your heart will be. So he's saying, like, the way you spend your money and your resources, that reveals what you really care about. Let me show you Prestonwood.
Don't look at my shopping history.
Well, we know what you care about. You care about buy MMF OnlyFans models.
Oh my
That's
God, I
your
do.
thing.
But they have to be a real married couple. Because I don't
That
like
does
the
it for you.
ones where it's clearly a guy who's not bisexual who's forced to do it. You know? That's
Yeah,
not
I don't. I'm against non-consensual sex of all time.
That's not what I meant. You know what I meant.
I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a hot take coming from you, but pretty standard. So, Drew, this is Prestonwood Baptist and their Christmas
Hot.
Spectacular.
Love her. Wait, that's Anastasia.
What?
That's a song from Anastasia, the cartoon.
Really?
Yes, she's singing about when she was in the palace. She's seeing visions of something, and it's like being back in the palace, and everyone's dancing. That's from the cartoon. That's not a Christian song.
I knew that showing this to you, like the gay side of you, would help me understand it better. Because I'm seeing it, and I see it one way, but I was like, there's something I'm missing here. Fuck, I'm missing Anastasia.
If you go to my Instagram, Darby Lynn Cartwright on Instagram, you
won't do
can
that.
in fact see me singing this song in a gay bar, if that would help.
That's why you recognized it. It's all coming back. All right, let's
No,
continue.
I love Anastasia.
Look at this place. That look like our home church growing up. Look at that, dude.
Okay, for those of you
Fucking
listening,
drummers.
there are drummers being lowered from the ceiling. For no
With
reason.
lasers. With lasers.
And the girl that was singing Anastasia was not Anastasia because she got shot with her family. But this woman was in like an LED dress being floated from the ceiling.
Drew, holy shit. I keep learning stuff from you. Anastasia was shot with her family. You're right. This woman was shot with her family in January at the start of the year.
What?
Crazy.
What do you mean? What?
No, I made
She
it
got
up.
shot?
No, I made that up.
Grant, don't listen. Don't tease me with that. I don't want anyone to die, but if they already have, let me know what happened.
Let me know.
You know?
Let me know.
I don't think I've said this over. Okay, that's enough. I don't think I've said this.
It's not. There's more.
No, I can't. I've seen these clips on TikTok, and it's so depressing.
Oh, they're so good. Okay.
I've said this on IMHO. I don't know if I've said this here yet, so I just want to make sure this is on record for the scientists. When I die, no matter how embarrassing or horrific it may be, hopefully, everyone has my permission to tell the story. If you post a vague, there's Drew lit up a room, we're going to miss him, he's dead now, goodbye, I would be so mad. You start the obituary with, it was Tuesday night, it was 8 p.m. Like, set the scene. I want my obituary to be nothing about me, just about what happened.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, Queen.
And if I die of something not fun, like cancer, which there's a high likelihood that one of us will,
please,
then
let it be you.
Then I will make sure that I do something insane at the end. So it's a funny story. You know, like I take my entire family with me or something. I don't know. Just ballpark.
you turn to Christianity.
Spitball. Oh, Christianity is my number one. Listen,
you're going back to
when
that
I
one.
don't have any answers, I'm going right back there.
When people see the shit we just saw at Prestonwood, and because our church did the same thing, and church redacted spent a shit ton of stuff on
our
not
our
that,
big
but
mega church that we grew up
production.
in. They started doing that too, where the angels would fly down the ceiling. And it's like, y'all, just to like better illustrate this, it is an arena. It's not, you're not, it's huge. So they
seats
are,
6,000.
they are so high off the ground. Okay, so for instance, Tiffany Trump isn't that high off the ground.
No, because she's 5.
She's only 5'7". She's only 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
But if you're
Barron's
looking at
6'7".
Barron,
6'7".
he's 6'7", so he's even further off the ground. It would be about, if I had to guess, you know, and math wasn't my biggest subject, but I'm pretty good at heights. I would say that Barron, it would be about 12 Barons.
I was going to say 12.
Toe to head.
That's
with
pretty
maybe one Tiffany at the top.
Ooh,
actually,
no.
she's
You had to
pretty
Tiffany
sturdy.
at the bottom. You got to put her at the bottom.
She's at the bottom because she's got a lower center of gravity.
She's
going to
hold it all.
Yeah, she's going to make, because Barron's too tall. His center of gravity is too high.
No.
Yeah, it's high.
It's really, really big. But when you see shit like that and you go, how do churches get there? How do they trick themselves into believing that we're doing something good here? And here's where it is. The Apostle Paul, giant piece of shit. He wrote most of the New Testament.
No. My little Polly. I can't like him anymore.
Oh, he would have loved you. He wrote.
What does that mean?
Oh, the gays. Like, first of all, I don't think he actually was referring to gay people when they quote him in Romans 1. I think
Well,
we're
that
back on
concept
revisionist
didn't
history.
exist, right?
What we have today, you're right. No. But I think that, but yeah, he was harsh.
But guys
he
are
was,
fucking guys.
Yeah, yeah, all of them. So all of them. Every single person in history before you. Oh, $2 bill. Where'd you get that, buddy?
Can I tell you this? Somebody tipped me with this. I have had this for at least 2 years
Well, it was
because
inside you. You don't throw away something
years.
somebody put inside you.
No, but like I have like a whenever I get tipped, I just put it in an old bag, and so I just have a bag of cash around.
Where is that? Where is that? Where do you keep that
Well,
bag?
now it's gone. Now we've used most of it, but no one ever wants this. Even Alexis, who never has money, I'm like, you can take that, and she's like, no,
Like, because it's too special?
like because it's too annoying. Because where would you spend this?
Anywhere. It's legal tender. What do you mean?
You can spend a $2 bill at a store.
It's legal tender. Yes.
There's something about this doesn't seem legal.
That's like someone giving you a silver dollar and you're like, well, I guess I'll keep this forever. It's $1.
That's what
Spend
I
it.
do with silver dollars.
Well, you should.
I can
Silver
spend
dollars are
'em.
pretty cool. They are pretty cool. They're like the Tiffany Trump of
Oh my God, I have to
money.
say though, of all the bills, maybe this is why I didn't believe it was real. Oh, it says this note is legal tender. Okay. Is Jefferson's eyes are so emotive.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and she's pouting. I gotta say, I think he looks too cunty to actually be real. But no, he's real. There's a note that says it's real.
What do you think his eyes are saying?
Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
he knows
guys.
what he did wouldn't turn out great.
I'm gonna.
He knew he made a couple mistakes.
I'm gonna keep enslaving my own children, but
Oh, yeah.
you guys will probably forget about that and put me in like a musical that'll be really popular. I bet I'll be everybody's favorite character in this musical.
Okay, so the musical was Hamilton, not Jefferson.
Yeah.
Alexander Jefferson.
Jefferson was in the musical. He was like a crowd favorite. He was great.
Grant, I have to be honest with you. I saw Hamilton with our mother when she came to visit, in an ill-advised visit we hadn't talked for a long time. It was after my first cutoff of her, and she decided to come visit when we started talking again, but we hadn't addressed anything anyway. It was a horrible trip, and I was drunk the entire time. Like, I could not do anything without alcohol because I just did not want it to happen. And so I bought us tickets to Hamilton, and I blacked out. I remember sitting down.
Uh-huh.
No idea.
Fantastic.
No idea. Isn't that great?
Fantastic. I saw
that great?
Hamilton in Chicago, and
I used to live there.
I sat. Well, I saw you while I was there. I sat next to.
I didn't go with you.
No, you didn't. But I saw
Who'd you
you
go
while
with?
I was there. Ah, true.
Oh, your pastor.
Because we came to Bar Redacted, and he was fascinated by the dude on the bar in the jockstrap slinging his dong around. Remember,
Because he was horny for it, Grant.
bro?
When you see a dong
I'm telling you,
on a bar.
he was right behind me. I was walking. We walked in. I looked up, and there's the guy just slinging his stuff, just doing his Tiffany Trump. I walk forward, and I turn around. Like, I'm like 10 feet now ahead of him. I turn around. He's standing right under the guy doing this.
Yeah.
And I yell at him, "Hey, Pastor Redacted, come on. What are you doing?" Because we were coming to look
He
for
said,
you.
I am coming.
And he said, he goes, oh, and he runs over to me and goes, I've never seen anything like that. And I was like, okay, bud. And yeah,
I
he
remember
really
the
liked
first
being
time
there.
I saw that.
He
I remember
really
the first
liked
time I
being
saw
there.
that. I felt the same way. Listen, as someone who has just really delved deep into by MMF porn, they all look like that. Like, they're very unassuming.
Huh.
I'm just saying.
Well, he had a great time, and on our way out, he told me not to tell anyone about it.
no.
Yeah, he really did.
That's great.
Can I tell you another thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this comes off. But
Yeah.
before we were about to leave, you were very, very kind to us. You were introducing us to all these people, which was great. And he did get groped at one point in the bar, and he
great.
talked about it. No, he loved it. He loved it.
Oh, good.
He talked about it endlessly. You introduced us to somebody, like on our way out. We were almost leaving, and he stopped, which I thought was strange, because he goes, because we're about to leave. We can go anywhere after this. And then he goes, I think I need to go to the bathroom. And then I went, no, man, we're about to leave. Like, is it like an emergency? Like, we're about to leave. We can go. We're going to be at the hotel in a minute. Like, let's leave. Because we'd been there a while, and we were trying to leave. And there's a crowd you have to fight through to get all the way back to that bathroom. He was like, I think I need to go to the bathroom. And I was like,
He wanted to get touched again.
I was like, no, man, let's go. And I always thought that was weird. I thought that was weird too. So anyway, he's
Weird
he was living
or
his best life.
beautiful?
Well, if he'd embrace it, it'd be beautiful. Drew, what I wanted to say real quick, just to like make sense of that video,
Yes.
is that the Apostle Paul, a piece of shit, he said, "I become all things to all people that I may win some." In other words, he was saying, I will change the type of person I am so that I can tell people about Jesus and win them over to Christianity, right?
It's a lie.
And so and that thought, like it continues throughout Christianity, throughout all of history. Charles Spurgeon, who was a really famous pastor 100 years, 200
What was his
years
name?
ago.
Spurgeon?
Yeah, a lot of gay names. He said
That's
he said
the worst
about
name. It has
said
all
about-
the worst sounds.
he said about going and telling people about Jesus. He says, look, if they're damned, in other words, if even if they can't come to heaven, even if they're not going to believe, he says, if they're damned, may they leap to hell over our dead bodies. In other words, he's saying, like, we need to do whatever we can to try to win them to Christianity. And so when you think about, like, how the fuck does Prestonwood have a $75 million budget, or $70 million budget? They brought in $75 million last year. How do they take those millions of dollars and they hang drummers from the ceiling, and they do all that shit while
'Cause they don't
they're
pay taxes.
well, there's that also. But how do they say, like, no, we're doing something good? Here's why. Because the thing that's most important in the evangelical world, and the way that they deal with that, is what the Apostle Paul said and what Charles Spurgeon said, which is, like, we've got to save people. As long as we win them over to Christianity, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money we spend. It doesn't matter all this other shit. As long as we win people over. But what the Bible says matters is helping the most vulnerable people in their distress. But they don't do that, because then they couldn't control the money. But this way, they can control the money. And as long as it's in service of that, why does a church pay for a pastor to go on some luxury vacation? Because he needs to be rested. Because if he gets rested with his family on a luxury vacation that the church pays for, then he'll come back and he'll preach better, and then we can win more people to Jesus. That's why. Why do we hire
Wait,
a former
that makes
Broadway
sense.
producer to come over and do our fucking production? It's because if a
Why?
lot of people come see this and they come to
Yeah.
follow Jesus, then
Yeah.
it's all good. Then it was all worth it. And you know, Drew, what I've come to realize after leaving the church and leaving that stupid way of thinking
Does make sense.
is that, like, if that's really how God thought, and this is, I've come into this realization a lot. I didn't realize that I care more about hurting people and people who are in need than God did. If that's his people, if that's what they're about, if they're doing what he wants them to do, then, like, that fucking sucks. Then you and I have a bigger heart for the people who are in need than he does. And that's why you look at the evangelicals who voted for Trump and you go, how the fuck can they look at Trump going, I'm going to invalidate the identity of all of these other Americans for shits and giggles and completely fuck them
It
up?
is kind of funny.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little upset right now. I can't really
No,
laugh.
I know, I got it. Sorry.
But it's
But
like,
I will.
it's fucked that you have this group of people who are killing themselves. And you have a guy get up there and go, you know what's funny? I'm gonna try to fuck you up even more, see if I can get even more of you to off yourselves, right? And how do Christians go like, that's our guy, fucking yeah? Because this is their mindset. They're not Christians. They're not following Jesus. That's not what Jesus is about. Jesus is about the most vulnerable, but evangelicals are not. They're about the same fucking shit. And that Bible verse that says that true religion is to care for the orphan and the widow in their distress, there's a second half to it. It says, and to keep yourself unstained from the world. Like to keep yourself separate from the shit that makes the world shit. And so, you know what? They're also not fucking doing that. Because when you look at Prestonwood Baptist and you look at all these churches, guess what? They are stained of the world. They look just like the rest of the fucking world because they're about money, they're about power, and they're about status. That's the shit that tears our world apart. And that's what they're about. And so they're a false religion. Plain and fucking simple. They're false religion. So when Donald Trump stands up there and says, I'm going to tear U.S. citizens out of this place and tear families apart, and I'm going to invalidate the identity of people I've never fucking met for shits and giggles that will lead them to kill themselves, that's why Christians applaud. Because it leads them to more power and influence and fame and status and all that other shit. Because they don't care about what a true religion is, which according to the Bible is to care for the most vulnerable and not look like a piece of shit like he does.
Whoa. I just want to say, I love your fervor. I think watching you get so upset like this has been honestly exciting, thrilling. It's like watching bi MMF porn for me. But I think a big reason I'm not having the same reaction you're having is because I figured this out 20 years ago, and I know you're just now dealing with that. So I'm trying to put myself back in that mindset, although we had just lost the towers not long before, so I had a lot more emotional baggage than you do.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Coldplay had just released
clip
Yellow.
of Trixie Mattel is being interviewed by Larry King?
No.
And clearly Larry King doesn't know who the fuck she is. But
he didn't know who anybody was.
No. He didn't know who he was those last few years. But he's interviewing her, and he brings up something along the lines of, Christianity, evangelicals don't like drag queens, and they say that you're like laughing in the face of God and blah, blah, blah. What do you say to that? And Trixie goes, well, God's not real and I am, so do with that what you will. That was her answer.
I have seen that.
Well, God's not real and I am. That's the thing that I saw a TikTok clip this week of this poor girl. She looks like she's in her early 20s, maybe even late teens. They all look so young these days. She was talking about how she's really struggling lately with trying to explain to her evangelical Christian family why what's happening with this new administration is so dangerous to her, a gay girl, like a gay woman, and how their religion is not really allowing them to see the facts in front of them as opposed to this like greater mission that they've created in their head. I always think of the Trixie quote of God's not real, but I am. Like the fact that this girl is having to struggle and argue, and we have to entertain these ideas as if they're real. It's crazy. It's like saying my family believes in aliens, and the aliens that they believe in don't like gay people. So I'm really having to negotiate with my family how they can maintain our relationship while also holding space for these aliens that are totally real. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, the like real life human animal thing
that's right in front of them.
That's right in front of them, that is demonstrably real. We have to argue our right to exist against their fairy tale. It's so mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have you considered, though, But Church
is actually one of the first porns I ever watched. It was called But Church. And what they did... So basically, the father...
So, Drew, just to close out then, as always, thank you to our patrons.
Prayer.
You are prayer for our patrons. You are the air beneath the air that I breathe, the wind beneath my wings.
The food that his
and
children eat.
The food that my children eat. That is very real. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Seriously, you have no idea. And Drew is just taking those names right on his face, just like that actual bi guy in the bi MMF porn that he watches. And
No,
I'm
the one
really
that I
proud of
watch,
him.
he prefers to eat the cum out of his wife. So he doesn't like it on his face. He likes it more in his mouth.
Yep, bet he does. Sorry to the patrons that were over Drew's face when he said that.
They turned on
Patrons-
Twinnuendo. If you're listening to
You
Twinnuendo,
turned it
you know
on.
you're going to hear weird shit.
So anyway, thank you so much and all of that. And Drew, actually, I've had some patrons, I've had some listeners reach out, and as you know, I have a cookie business called craftcookieco.com.
Why?
I know. And we do cookie deliveries at resorts, like in the area, like Disney Resorts, Universal, whatever.
Okay,
And I've had
brag.
people say,
Wow.
how can we support your cookie business? Well, I can ship cookies. And yeah, I've got Disney cookies and stuff that I could ship, but forget all that. Instead, forget that. Forget it right now.
There's probably a boycott. Who knows?
Forget it. Because of stuff Angela says. I've come up with a Twinnuendo cookie box. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me show you. I have made Twinnuendo cookies that
You
they
made
can
'em?
purchase. Yeah, I made these.
Wow.
Are you
Okay, what are they?
Are you ready to see them? These are two
Yeah.
of them.
Oh, yeah. Show it to me.
It's our logo.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude.
Did
It's
you have a
our-
baby? Did you already
Nope.
have that?
No, I had
Did you have to buy one or did you make one?
Yes, I bought it.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Wait, what's on the babies?
Hang on, I'll tell you after they finish kissing.
I don't think we do that. We're not the Peters
Human
twins.
centipede. Okay, so
Well, we would do that. for
we
sure.
would do that.
I'm gonna
but
shit
for
in your
money.
mouth whenever you want. I'm gonna shit in your mouth.
Why?
Even
Wait,
if
why
you
do
don't.
you? Why do you think you were in the front? I was born
Because
first.
you lined up the cookies that way, you piece of shit. Are you fucking kidding?
Let's see
Did
the
you not
tape.
watch what you
Let's
just
go to the
did?
tape. I don't know what I
Rewind it.
do. Okay. Anyway, check it out. Did I do that? Is that Freudian?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
I was like, but how can I make it even more special? Do I make these with my own hands? Yes. Do I hand make the dough? Yes. Do I hand
And he
make
doesn't
the
wash his
icing?
hands
Yes.
anymore now that the pandemic's over.
No. Well, RFK Jr. told me I didn't have to. So who am I going to listen to? You or an expert? So I was like, how can we make this even more personalized? I've talked about before on the show that I had a Christian signature. And so I have edible marker, and so I'm going to sign my Christian signature. You can see it makes little 3 crosses here on
That's
all of
tough.
the Grant cookies.
That's
And Drew, you can't sign your cookies. You don't live here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you putting on mine? Is it
To
the,
mark
are
yours.
are you just writing the F slur on it? Because that does remind me
No.
of a cookie you once made me when we were in high school.
Okay, relax. No, I'm not doing that
Okay.
again. Because you can't sign it, here's your mark. I put glitter all over it because you're gay and you drag.
I was actually going to say sometimes, oh God, especially when I'm in drag and I've got nails and it's just so hard. If someone wants me to sign something and if I can't
just
for whatever
spray
reason,
glitter
I just spray glitter on it.
That's,
So
your
actually,
X. That's your make your mark.
that's my make my mark. It's
I
glitter.
love it. But Drew, 2 cookies is not enough. It's not enough.
No.
No. Not for the Twinnuendo box. So
No.
the Twinnuendo box is actually going to have 4 cookies. The other
What?
two, mystery. One will represent the Jesus side of Grant, and the other will represent the
Buy
drag.
MMF porn.
It will not. The drag side of Drew.
You never know what kind of cookie cutters you might come across.
It will
on the
be
internet
the
these
Twinnuendo
days.
cookie box is going to have 4 cookies in it, but also
Wow.
it's going to have something
I have
else. I don't know. I'll think about it. When you fill out the form to get it, we're going to ask also for if you have any prayer requests, and
Oh, yeah.
Drew and I will do our version of prayer. What is that? Doesn't matter. It's none of your business. But just like
Buy MMF porn.
Drew will say your name while he watches by MMF form. He will name the people after you, and then he
Julie.
will say your prayer request to them, which will be helpful.
Yeah.
But also, we're going to include a card in the box that will be a randomly selected Bible verse just for you. And Drew and I will actually sign those. So our names will be on that card, and you'll get to keep your Bible verse with our little signatures on it. And
That's
so you
sweet.
go, how much could a box shipped in all be to me? Like, including shipping, that must be
Only in the United States. I'm so sorry to our
only in the
international
United States.
listeners.
Very, very, very sorry. How much could a box like that possibly cost?
Wait.
Hundreds?
4 cookies made by you
Thousands?
with your signature and my signature, basically a card.
With their Bible verse in it.
I would say, can I guess? And is shipping included?
Shipping is included.
Fuck. Okay, I would say $80.
You are
Seems
so
reasonable.
wrong. It's like you're guessing a Democrat's height. Like a Democratic
What? Nancy
politician's
Pelosi
height.
isn't 5'1"?
You are so stupid. You look stupid. You sound stupid.
Okay, let's get to the.
It's
Let's.
so
How much is it? How much is
fucking
it?
dumb.
How much is it?
$35 US. That's
Really?
shipping, boxed up, sent directly to you.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'll
seriously,
take one.
seriously, people have been asking how they can support our business. This would be great. Here's where you're going to find them. You're going to find them on twinnuendo.com. Go to twinnuendo.com. You'll find the link,
Whoa.
and you can order it through that. But yeah, that'll help my family out. Thank you for wanting to do that. And if you're like, I don't want to do that, then don't.
You don't have to.
Don't hurt my family, but don't do that either.
You could promote their business on your internet. You know,
could
if you can't
promote our
afford the cookie,
business.
but you want all 4 of his kids to live to adulthood, you could simply just share a link.
That would work too. But thank you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, I know a lot of people have asked how they could support us. That's super nice. Thank you for wanting to do that.
That is very nice. Thank you.
So Drew, we've been talking a lot. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I really want to eat this grape.
Okay, Drew, go ahead and eat that grape. And I want to end with a final TikTok that I think will actually leave on a high note. I think it's something we all need to embrace and be more like.
God.
And I'm really, really excited for it. And so, Twinnuendo, thank you guys for watching. And enjoy your moment of zen.
Sweetheart, this is your reminder. We die at the end of this.
We do.
Fuck them. Somebody mistreat you, don't know how to treat you. Fuck them. Family member don't know their role, don't know their place. Fuck them. People constantly being disrespectful to you. Fuck them. Them kids. Fuck them. We die at the end of this.
Fuck them.
Let them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Let them. Mel Robbins. Fuck them.
See you next week. Fuck them.